Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez slammed an ad paid for by a Republican PAC that showed her congressional portrait being set on fire. Let's watch that ad, and we'll break it down.
This is the face of socialism and ignorance. Does Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez know the horror of socialism? My father was minutes from death in Cambodia before a forced marriage saved his life. That's socialism. Forced obedience, starvation. Mine is a face of freedom. My skin is not white. I'm not outrageous, racist, nor socialist. I'm a Republican.
Well, I mean, you're one of those things. You're a Republican for sure. Look, man, that was a fairly disgusting ad. Now, it was purchased by the New Faces PAC, right? So I guess the whole point of the New Faces PAC is to say, hey, look, we have people that are not white saying the things that we've always been saying about how socialism is terrible and how black people are terrible, et cetera, et cetera. But it's new faces. It's that we can't possibly be racist at all because look, we have somebody named Elizabeth Heng. Look, she's Asian. There you go. So look, I think it's pretty obvious what they were going for in this ad. Basically saying that AOC and people like her, that social democrat or democratic socialist, are basically the same as Pol Pot. Now, look, it takes a pretty far logical leap to compare people who say things like, we want to expand healthcare to everybody, Medicare specifically, regardless of age, and we can do it in the richest country in the world at half the cost. So everyone will have healthcare. It takes a logical leap to go from that to, oh, by the way, the same people who are promising that also want to be a dictator and murder people. But they just did that. They said socialism, which isn't even social. Nobody even knows what that means anymore. She can't define it. She doesn't know what socialism is. She's putting the most extreme example of authoritarian communism, which, again, doesn't even make sense because communism is not supposed to be authoritarianism. But yet it somehow turns out to it because it ends up centralizing power within. You know how it goes, right? So we could sit there and talk semantics and talk theory all the time. I don't agree with communism, but at least I can know what it is. You know, socialism is state run. Worker run businesses, right? Worker run, worker owned, right? Nobody on that stage is saying we should nationalize the economy. And nobody on that stage and nobody in the Democratic Party is saying, oh, by the way, we should also murder people. This is ridiculous. Absolute garbage. But this is the state of discourse in this country where nobody knows what anything means anymore. Nobody. I mean, Canada has single-payer healthcare, right? They haven't murdered a bunch of their own people, as far as I know. Neither has the UK, Norway, Finland, Denmark, etc. None of the Nordic countries have done it. Let's be honest. Here in America, we're not even nowhere. We're nowhere near socialism. Okay, we have a mixed market economy. Democratic socialists, so-called democratic socialists, Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they're actual centrists. Not, in the world context they are, but in America they're considered far loony left, right? No, they believe in regulated free market capitalism, in a mixed market system, generous welfare benefits like the Nordic states, but with regulated free market capitalism. That's what they believe in. And she's making this insane comparison between that and Pol Pot and Stalin. What a bunch of garbage. Absolute garbage. No, like I said, people who are social democrats or they call themselves democratic socialists. Again, they're not exactly right on the label here, as I point out, are pretty much centrist when it comes to the world, right? Everyone else in the United States, the Republican Party, massively right wing. Now the problem goes further than this just being comically wrong. This is also dangerous. And why is that? Because it puts her in the crosshairs. I mean, what they're doing is they're basically telling people that if people like AOC are in power, that they will eventually come and murder you and your family after putting you through extreme poverty. Now, again, that's a really big problem. Okay? She already gets a staggeringly high number of death and rape threats on a daily basis from people who are unhinged. I mean, Fox News talks about her 12 times a day. It says, look how horrible she is. Look how horrible she is. Look how dumb she is. Go get her. Oh, did we say that out loud? Oh, we didn't actually mean that. I mean, but go get her. There are unhinged people in this country that have lots of weapons and are influenced very, very easily by the things that they see on cable news, by the lies and gross misstatements. This puts people's lives in danger. And that's what's going on here. You know what that's called? Stochastic terrorism. This ad is saying, if we allow them in power, they're going to destroy us. So do something first. And I know it's supposed to be we're Republicans and we're not racist ad, but that's also the subtext here. I mean, again, super dangerous. Super dangerous. Now, ABC is under fire for airing this ad. And now we found out that while this ad was okayed, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, now that's a group that promotes separation of church and state, right? Kind of like one of our forefathers or founding fathers. And they said that we tried to put up some ads, but were rejected the same night. Later in the broadcast, ABC aired an ad funded by Numbers USA. Now, that's a group that is anti-immigrant. Political Research Associations has reported that the group's president, Roy Beck, once spoke to a white nationalist group and formally edited The Social Contract, a journal that puts out what the Southern Poverty Law Center called race-baiting articles penned by white nationalists. Oh, but they let those ads on, and they let this ad on, but they don't let Freedom from Religion Foundation. I thought you wanted free speech. I thought you wanted a free exchange of ideas to allow people to, basically show their own perspective. Oh, no, they don't want that. They want only the right-wing perspective. It's not an accident. And it's not ABC's fault. And I'm going to explain how that is. This is actually Sinclair Broadcasting. So this debate was aired, and these ads were aired on a lot of ABC affiliates. Okay? So these affiliates are owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. You guys know Sinclair Broadcasting. I've done plenty of stories on how they manipulate media. They do must-run segments of Sebastian Gorka and saying, all sorts of propaganda and lies and misinformation. That's what they do. And so that's exactly what they did. They aired these ads, which are basically BS right-wing propaganda. So now AOC responded to this. She said, quote, Republicans are running TV ads setting pictures of me on fire to convince people they aren't racist. Life is weird. I'd say she took it pretty well. She also said, I know this wasn't an ad for young conservatives of color. That was a pretense. What you just watched was a love letter to the GOP's white supremacist case. Others expressed shock at the ad, of course, and ABC is running it. Mehdi Hassan tweeted, Trump officials and GOP senators were asked to leave a few restaurants, and we had a whole news cycle about a lack of civility on the part of the left. The GOP, on the other hand, just set AOC's face on fire. Hashtag both sides. As you can see, that's what it is too. Oh, how dare you be uncivil, Republicans say, and then they do this. Come on. Ultraviolet said, this ad is abhorrent, literally burning AOC and promoting violence against a sitting member of Congress. How did you let this on the air, ABC? Jordan Uhl says, this is a very strange PAC ad featuring a burning pic of AOC that aired during the Dem debate. Ben the Arc Jewish Action said, this is the ad ABC allowed to run during tonight's Dem debate. Right-wing propaganda depicting AOC set on fire, burning into images of skeletons. This is right out of the white nationalist playbook. No news network should be profiting off of such hatred. Yeah. Look, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that profit off hate. And a lot of these people already have all the money. And they use this kind of hate and division so that they can hold on to that money and all those resources. Look, this is an absolutely disgusting, hateful, totally inaccurate ad. And the Republican group who put this together, they should be ashamed of themselves. Of course, unfortunately, we know that they will never be because they have no shame. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.